of the Red Sea. But Pharaoh and all his army are going to be drowned in the sea. Let's look closer at this story to find out how this all came about. Now, as we learned, guys, Pharaoh told the Israelites to leave Egypt after God brought the 10 plagues on the Egyptians. You guys remember the 10 plagues or the 10 troubles, okay? After 600,000 Israelite men left, okay, as well as many women and children, okay? Also, a large number of other people who had become believers in Jehovah left along with the Israelites. They all took their sheep and goats and cattle with them. Now, before they left, the Israelites asked the Egyptians for clothes and for things made of gold and silver. The Egyptians were actually very much afraid because of what the last plague put upon them, okay? So they gave the Israelites everything they asked for, okay? They lost a lot, guys, if you remember from the previous story, okay? The 10 plagues. After a few days, the Israelites came to the Red Sea. There they rested, okay? And in the meantime, Pharaoh and his men began to feel sorry that they had sent the Israelites away. And they said this, we have let our slaves go, okay? So Pharaoh, this is where we learn, okay, that Pharaoh changed his mind once more. Now, Pharaoh has a history of changing his mind or going back on his word, okay? He'll tell you one thing and then change his mind, okay? So he quickly got his war chariot and his army ready. Then he began to chase after the Israelites with 600 special chariots as well as all the other chariots of Egypt. And when the Israelites saw Pharaoh, okay, and his army coming after them, they were very much afraid, and there was no way to flee. There was nowhere to go. So the Red Sea was on one side of them, and here the Egyptians were coming from the other direction. But Jehovah put a cloud between his people and the Egyptians. So the Egyptians were not able to see the Israelites to attack them. See how wonderful Jehovah is? And Jehovah then told Moses to stretch his stick out, okay? Stretch his walking stick out over the Red Sea. And when he did, Jehovah caused a strong east wind to blow. The waters of the sea were parted, okay? And the waters were held up on both sides. Can you guys imagine that? Wow. Then the Israelites began to march through the sea on dry ground. Wow. I just think about that. That's amazing. It took hours for the millions of people with all their animals to get safely through the sea to the other side. Finally, the Egyptians were able to see the actual Israelites again. Because remember, Jehovah God put a cloud, okay, a buffer of sorts, so that they obscured them so they couldn't see them, okay? Now they can see them. And their slaves, they realized, were getting away. So they rushed into the sea after them. When they did, God caused the wheels of their chariots to fall off. The Egyptians became very afraid and began to cry out this, Jehovah is fighting for the Israelites against us. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. But, guys, can you guess? It was too late. This is when Jehovah told Moses to stretch his stick out, once again, out over the Red Sea. Okay, and when Moses did that, can you guys guess what happened? The walls of water. So that sea became walls of water, okay, began to come back down and cover the Egyptians and their chariots. The whole army had followed the Israelites into the sea, and not one of the Egyptians were able to escape or go out. how happy all God's people were to be saved. The